I was on Signal last night. I was sharing some how to make a nuclear weapon stuff. I accidentally put Iran on don't you hate that?
Yes.
So they were part of that.
Done it.
So we've all done it. Okay, so here's the bad thing. In case you don't know, they accidentally texted the war plans with the Houthis to the Atlantic. Now, how can that happen? I mean, this is not the Hillary Clinton people. I mean, I think that's expected. But I got a few questions. First of all, is Signal really the thing that we should be on with war plans? I don't think so. In fact, isn't it illegal? Everything has to be monitored for the National Archives. The National Archives, you're not supposed to have personal, private things. It all has to go on government servers for a couple of reasons. I don't know. Number one, so this doesn't happen. Number two, in case something does go wrong, somebody is doing something wrong, we have forever proof of it. It is time. Now, here's something that the left will never do to their own. This is a bad mistake by the administration. Okay? Now, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that it was a fat finger problem. I don't think anybody did this intentionally, but still, there's got to be a consequence for this, and it has to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And I'd like to know why we're on Signal. Why are we doing top secret things on Signal? You don't think I think Yemen could get together enough cash to break into Signal. Is it just me? Okay, so what happened was they were having a meeting with, cabinet level, and they're talking about the Houthi attack. And here's what's coming, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was sent to the guy who runs the Atlantic. And he was included in this text chat. And he's reading it. He's like, I'm being trolled. This is not, okay? But he doesn't say, hey, guys, am I supposed to be on this? He just lets it go. And I'm going to be real frank with you. If this was happening and that was sent to me, and it was during the Biden administration, there's no way I would have said, hey guys, am I supposed to be on this?
No way.
Okay.
I would sit there and watch it and see what happened.
Exactly. I would be like, this can't be real. We've had conversations this before. This can't be real. Mm-hmm. But just sit back and watch, because if it is, it's a big deal. Okay? So I don't fault him for not. I would have done it myself because this is such a huge mistake. And I want to give this guy credit for not coming out and saying, we're going to attack the Houthis. Now, I'm not going to call him a patriot like a lot of people are, because, quite honestly, put yourself in the situation. You are on the opposite side of this administration, and all of a sudden, you're added to a top secret list of what we're going to do. You would immediately go, this is a setup. This is a setup.
100%. I would think at first it was fake. Then I would think it was a setup. It would at least cross my mind. I would be nervous to think, am I legally allowed to be in, see any of this?
Yes, but he would go to his, he's the guy who runs the Atlantic. He went to attorneys. Do we need to do anything about this? Mm-hmm. So I would have acted exactly the same way. And to his credit, he did not release anything prior to the attack, which is number one. The second thing is he still, to my knowledge, has not released what he saw. Now, that makes me a little nervous, because I want to know that somebody in the Justice Department has seen it. We know this is not, that it is what he says it is. But I assume you'd be able to see up in the, who's on our top secret spy meeting. I'm sure you can see his name, or at least a code name for him, or his handle, whatever it is. Now, this was supposedly done, and leaked by a guy who. Wait a minute. He's I think he was a Navy SEAL, or was he a Ranger? He was special forces. Okay, he is a good guy. He was a congressman. He's not in bed with the left. He doesn't hate Donald Trump. So there's no way this was intentional that I know of, that he did it intentionally. Maybe somebody else did, but I don't think so. Here's what I think actually happened, because I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me. I never thought these stories were true until it happened to me. Here's one. I'm typing to Pat. Boy, Stu's such a fathead. What a ridiculous fathead he is. Fat. Send. And then I realized, how did Stu's name get into the CC box? What did I just do?
By the way, that's a real story. We should point out. You can just make that up.
And he is a fathead. Fat.
I confirmed it.
No, but I mean, that's happened to everybody, right?
I mean, everybody's had that. Everybody's dumb mistake.
And that is something that you do. You know, your finger drop down box comes down and you're like, yep, there's Stu. And I hit Sarah instead, you know? And so,
that's how I found out. I was a fathead. It was that moment.
Yeah.
Thanks
a lot, Sarah.
But everyone's gone through that.
Everybody
right?
has.
I mean, like, at the very least, you've come close. Like, you've about to click send, and then you realize, holy crap, that name's in the, to or CC world of the email. So, I mean, it is actually a pretty relatable thing. It just still should not be happening.
But apparently nobody checked the little boxes on who's this guy? Who is this guy? Who sent Jameson, not Jameson Greer,
Jeffrey Goldberg.
Jeffrey Goldberg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who sent him? Now, if his name in the little Dropbox, or it's not actually a Dropbox, I think you have to go to your contacts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who would be next to if Goldberg's name is there and he started typing in J or G for Goldberg, who would come up? Well, the only one that we can find that is at a cabinet level is Jameson Greer. Now, Jameson Greer is a cabinet level official. His role is to look at the high level discussions that are going on about tariffs.
Okay. I mean,
so and national security context tariffs. So maybe
possibly,
yeah, maybe
it would be a little strange,
right?
But not, you're right. With national security involved, it's possible.
So here's the in order. Can we stop using public apps? That's number one. I don't know if anyone knows this, but there's a group of people called hackers that would love to hack in and find all of our secrets. That's why we spent a lot of money on infrastructure. And if the administration isn't using the top secret infrastructure, the administration needs to. Second of all, we need to have records of everything that has happened, even if it is top secret until, 70 years after they tried to kill Donald Trump in Butler. Somebody in 100 years from now will still, well, I know everybody's dead, but we really can't release this right. But I want somebody to have a record of it, okay?
And that's the law.
Yeah, that is the law. You're not supposed to be doing this. Now, I don't know specifically about what they're doing, but it's my understanding.
In most situations,
you are not allowed to have conversations about your job at the government off of government apps for security reasons and for National Archive reasons. It's the law. So let's focus on that first. And again, the left would never do this to their own. I mean, Hillary Clinton is out bleaching, hard drives. She's been hiding all of our secret information, top secret, with the lemonade stand on the 8-year-old on her street. I mean, so they never went after that. Let's be consistent here. This is a problem, and it's got to stop. Second of all, something has to, if this is the way it happened, somebody has to, have a word with Mr. Walz. How did this happen? It's my fat finger. Look, this is what happened. I'm sure this is what happened. I was looking through my contracts. I meant to push his name, and I pushed his name by accident. I didn't check. I should have checked. Bad. Stop it.
It's a secondary problem, though, right?
It is.
Because he got a lot of the names right, like Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, right? So the fact that all of them were on this is already a major problem outside of the reporter. And Waltz, I mean, why would Goldberg's name be in there? I mean, it's got to be that at least at some point he was talking off record or on background about something to him. Right, like I don't know what else the explanation would be. Again, there is a bit of speculation in this because all we know is that the White House has confirmed this was it appears to be a legitimate chat. So they're not denying it.
And I would
Hegseth did say something that sounded like a kind of a denial initially. No one's texting war plans. But I think that was...
Well, that's not a text.
It's not a text.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly what I went to. It was like, it's not technically a text. Maybe he was trying to walk some line there. But the White House confirmed it later on.
Right.
So it does seem that it is legitimate.
Right. And hats off. I mean, I think there were a lot of good actors here. This is my take on it. Now, this could change the more information we get. My take on this was Waltz, fat finger. Okay? Second, we should not be using any kind of public app for anything in the government. I don't care if it's the National Dog Catchers Federal Union meeting. I don't care. No one in government should ever be using public apps,
especially for something like this.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's so dumb. It shouldn't even need to be said.
Yeah,
but right. It's one thing if they were trading, I don't know, they were like, can you believe what Hillary Clinton said yesterday? And they're going back. Even that's not supposed to happen on those apps. But okay, these are actual, the bombs are dropping in 2 hours. If that's actually what happened here, and you're correct to point out, by the way, we do not have full confirmation of that quite yet. Like we do have the actual language of what he released in a previous conversation about it, but we don't have the confirmation of
any secrets
of that exact, hey, here comes the bombs type of conversation. Yeah. He just alluded to it, and he's being praised for not including that because it would reveal potential operational details.
They would not have praised me and called me a patriot, nor should they. It would have been caution. It feels like a setup.
Right.
This can't be real. And if it is, what am I being set up for? Mm-hmm. Okay. So please, let's not call him a patriot. Let's call him a smart businessman. All right. Because he knew he had a story. If it's true, after he has a story, he has this story. Okay. So let's cut down on the patriot talk. I'm glad he didn't reveal any secrets. And I thank him for that. Tip of the hat. Thank you for not doing that. That's rare in your business where somebody has national secrets and they're like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bomb Iran. Okay. But nobody seems to care about that stuff.
And I mean, no, I know you're trying to get onto something else, but one more addition on this point.
Yeah.
He needed to wait for the bombs to drop before he could confirm it was real.
Correct.
So it's not like he even intentionally said, I'm going to do this for national security.
Right.
He didn't know it was real until the bombs dropped.
And he didn't think it was real.
Right, for a long portion. Now,
right.
I think the conversations leading up to that, I think at that point he was like, oh my gosh, I think this is real. But he didn't have confirmation. He couldn't write a story. He couldn't go online and say, by the way, I'm in a text that, chat, and they're about to bomb in 2 hours.
But I will tell you.
So I give him a little bit of credit, but also let's keep it in perspective.
Yeah, some credit. I mean, there are those who have done that.
Sure.
Okay. But can we just talk about General Milley calling his counterpart in China going, by the way, President Trump's saying this, but he's not going to do it because we're not allowing him to do it. Don't worry. That's treason. And nobody on the left had a problem with that at all. But everybody's upset about this, as I am. But let's keep it in perspective. I want the National Archives to always have access to everything. Stop using private things to talk about anything other than How's your day been, honey? All right, back in just a minute. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but life is pretty bad at giving you the memo that something bad is about to go down. Storm hits, pharmacy is closed, medication you need, out of stock there. Maybe you're stuck somewhere far away from the doctor and you're really sick. These kinds of things may not happen to you every day, but they do happen. And when they do, you can be prepared for them with a Jace case from Jace Medical. This thing comes with 5 life-saving antibiotics that you can keep on hand and a manual for when and how to use them. It's also got room for add-on medications that you might want to keep on hand, things like ivermectin, for instance. Listen, half the year I live out on a ranch where my family and I are an hour away from a doctor or a hospital. Something really goes wrong in the middle of the night, I'm screwed. I got to be prepared as much as I can, not because something disastrous is going to happen, like, oh, aliens are going to come down and start eating our ears off, and I'll need antibiotics. My kids are going to get sick in the middle of the night, and I won't be able to go to a doctor or a hospital until the next morning. When you order your Jace case today, use the promo code BECK, that's B-E-C-K. Go to Jace, J-A-S-E.com, Jace.com, get a discount. Jace.com, promo code BECK. 10 seconds, station ID. All right, so here's something that's really exciting. If you ever got your genes tested and you did your family tree and you checked out 23andMe, you know, they're so super solid and they're going to protect all this. They're up for sale. So that safeguard, you know, we're going to make sure, well, I mean, we're not in charge of it anymore. We're selling it, but,
they went bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
So they have to sell it.
They have to sell. But, you know, what would be really honorable is deleting all of that information. But you can't. Now that they're in bankruptcy, they can't touch any of that because that's an asset. That was never promised to be an asset. Okay? Nobody said, hey, you keep this so you could sell it later. That's not the way it's supposed to be. If you've ever used 23andMe, go in today and delete your information. I mean, it's already out, probably on Signal. But make sure you delete this information because it looks like the company may be sold to Big Pharma. I mean, what could possibly go wrong with that? And by the way, all of your information is going to be anonymous. They're never going to know whose information, because that's the way they file it. They're just like, somebody, can you grab somebody's file for me? Sure. So it's all, no, there's no identifying factors in that at all. This is going to be used by Big Pharma, they say, to do all kinds of wonderful things. I don't want it in the hands of Big Pharma. That's not what anybody signed up for, 23andMe. Make sure you go in and delete that information. This is, again, we're entering a time, I think the scriptures say that there's going to come a time where there will be no secrets, that every secret will be shouted from the rooftops. Well, we're there, gang. There are no secrets anymore, no privacy anymore. Make sure, if you worked with 23andMe, go in today and delete all of your information. And don't worry, you can totally trust them that when you hit delete, it's forever gone.
This is Glenn Beck.
I had a really spooky conversation with somebody last night that used to be very, 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 very high up in the government. And we had a conversation last night about war. And he said, you know, I'm a little concerned with the way the world is acting. They're all preparing for war. Look at Europe, look at the Middle East, and look at China. Everybody is preparing for war. And I said, do you think that would be good? No, it would not be good. It would not be good for a myriad of reasons. But one, we cannot afford war. The world can't afford war, but this is the way you reset everything. Please have something that could be a backup to your dollar. If you've saved anything, please take 10% and put it into gold or silver. All you do is call 800-957-GOLD. This is Lear Capital. You'll get your free $4,200 gold report showing you that it most likely is going to go up, or there's a very good chance that it's going up past the $3,000 mark, which it's already passed, to $4,200 gold in the next 18, 24 months. If there's war, definitely 800-957-GOLD, 800-957-GOLD.
BlazeTV.com/Glenn. Subscribe now. Use the code Glenn and save $30. Triple 727 BECK. We're talking about the texts, I guess, or signal messages that came from many members of the White House and security team about this Houthi attack, Houthi rebels that were hit with all sorts of bombs and such the other day. Now, Jeffrey Goldberg is the guy who runs The Atlantic. He says, I was actually inadvertently added to this chain, and I saw all this happening. He says he was sitting in his car after he saw a message that, hey, these bombs are going to drop in a couple of hours. He sat in his car waiting to confirm this. They did drop in a couple of hours. So that's where we are now. Now, the White House has, they've got an argument here. This is the argument from Carolyn Levitt. She says Jeffrey Goldberg is well known for his sensationalist spin. Mm-hmm. Here are the facts about this latest story. Mm-hmm. 1, no war plans were discussed, and war plans is in quotes on that. This is also echoing what Pete Hegseth said when he says no one was texting war plans. They've been using that phrase a lot.
Yeah, well, what do war plans mean?
Right. I think there's a technicality of sorts. I don't know. If you said to me, hey, we're bombing in 2 hours, I think it's okay to call that war plans.
Do you? I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't.
I mean, it's not a detailed map of everything you're going to do, but I mean, certainly it's germane.
It's inappropriate. Okay, it shouldn't be
the
done.
timing, though, is of possibly the most important detail in a way. Like, right? Like, if you were to say, like, what is the one thing the Houthis would want to know more than anything else?
Are they going to bomb us, and when?
When are they coming?
Yeah,
right. Like even if you don't know the location of the bombing, right? You'd rather have the timing than even the location, because you could try to hide everything for that period, right? Like, so it's not. They're not war plans. You couldn't say that's an entire plan of war, but it is an important detail of any particular situation. Also, not technically a war, I guess. We haven't declared war, so there may be some out for them there. That's 1. 2, no classified material was sent to the thread. This one's important, I think, because I guess it probably isn't technically classified in some way. The timing, I mean, I guess you have to go through some sort of process to classify something. Mm-hmm. Considering they're just saying they're making a decision for a couple hours ahead, it's probably just don't tell people. But I mean, it's might not
Mr. President, this file is marked just don't tell people.
Tell people. We need a stamp that says that. I like that. But secondly, it would indicate that he would not be restricted to post it, right? If it's no classified material, he could post whatever those messages were at the end, which he's held back so far, probably because he's worried they're classified. But if they're not classified, I guess maybe he could post them all. Maybe we'll see them. And the third argument is the White House counsel's office has provided guidance on a number of different platforms for President Trump's top officials to communicate as safely and efficiently as possible. That is, I assume that's true. I have no reason to doubt.
Because you just gave this last piece to me a minute ago, and I looked it up, and I have the guidelines.
Okay,
I have the guidelines, so I can go through that.
Sure.
Okay, so a couple of things. War plans. To me, war plans are not, hey, I got an idea. We're going over there in 2 hours.
Right.
That's not war plans. That's a tip of some sort. Mm-hmm. Let me show you this. These are war plans. This was only for the highest level German officers, and only a few of these were made. But it's a box full of maps and battle plans. Jeez. These are the battle plans, okay, for the invasion of Poland. Now, at the time, Hitler was saying, we're not going to do anything with Poland. We have no designs on Poland at all. It would be all self-defense. But in this war plan, if you could see, these are pictures of bridges that they were going to blow up. These were pictures of buildings that they needed to blow up. This was their legitimate war plan. I didn't even know this existed until we got it at auction in Germany. That's a war plan. We're going in around 2 hours. That's a tip-off.
Can we point out that there's no other human being on Earth who could be like, oh, they said war plans? Hey, go get me my Hitler invasion of Poland war plans from the museum. There's not another human being on Earth who could do what you just did.
I really relate to Donald Trump. Did you see that he had the what is it, the FIFA award, the soccer award?
FIFA, yeah.
FIFA. Mm-hmm. He has that sitting next to the Resolute desk now. He's got the Declaration of Independence on wall now. He's got the World Soccer Cup sitting next to his. The guy is just like, I mean, it's exactly what I would do. It's like, hey, do we have somewhere that? Bring it in here. I think that's cool.
Soon there's going to be like an alien in fluid just bobbing around in some tank inside his office.
We need somebody to do that with AI. I want to see the president sitting behind his desk with a small alien in a jar behind him. So anyway, so here's what it said. General prohibition. Government officials are generally prohibited from using public tools like Signal, WhatsApp, or other third-party messaging apps for official business unless specific conditions are met. That's the key. What are those exceptions? In some cases, agencies may permit the use of non-official tools under limited circumstances, such as emergencies or when communicating with external partners that cannot use government systems. Okay. This, you know who changed this? You know who got it so we could open up all these communications?
Wasn't it Obama?
Specifically.
Oh, I don't know.
Which agency? USAID. They said, we need to be able to use this.
Because they're talking to foreign sources.
So, Signal-specific concerns. Signal is an encrypted messaging app with features like disappearing messages, which can make it impossible to preserve records if used improperly. This feature conflicts with the federal record-keeping requirements, as it could allow officials to conduct business without leaving a trace. While Signal's encryption is robust, it is not a government-approved system for classified communications, and its use could violate security protocols if sensitive information is shared. However, even in cases with employees and special conditions, employees must forward official communications of an official government account within 20 days to comply with the Federal Records Act, unless the communication is purely logistical and of minimal value.
Which is kind of the excuse that Hillary used, right?
Right.
Yeah, this is just, I was talking about my daughter and her yoga practice or whatever.
Right.
Remember that?
Right. So the White House has, not under Trump, the White House has made it legal for some conditions that Signal could be used, but it has to be recorded and reported to the National Archives within 20 days. Okay? So we now know that's not a violation of our policies. Okay? I don't like that policy. I'd like that policy changed or deeply explained more than this. Like, I don't know, could we get Grok to write us a top secret app? I mean, don't we have a bot that does that now? Don't we have Elon Musk that could just whip one of those up real quick?
Because, I mean, I could see the justification for it, right? I mean, you could see, okay, like, obviously, a foreign official, for example, would not have access to our internal systems. And therefore, if you're talking to them and you need to use messaging, which, again, is questionable, okay, maybe Signal is the place to do it. Why J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and Mike Waltz would need to have a conversation off of those systems? I don't understand. I mean, and look, we all know what the government is. probably whatever system they have sucks. And it may just very well be as simple as Signal works because it's a capitalist product.
Yeah, and it's more secure than, the federal government.
I wouldn't be surprised either if that's true.
But that's something that I would say, hey, Elon, in between bites when you're at lunch today, could you just write this up for us? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's something that we need to fix. So
agreed.
I want to make sure everybody knows what I said earlier is you're not supposed to use these. Yes, there is a special exemption for Signal under certain circumstances. Don't know how this one made those certain circumstances because I don't think we know all of those circumstances.
Right.
But they weren't doing anything they weren't supposed to do, at least on the surface.
And assuming that they would turn these into the archives, which would need to occur, right?
Well, yes. I mean,
now I'm sure, obviously, now they will, but
of course.
We don't know how many conversations have gone on.
They verified that it did happen. Mm-hmm. So, they had to know, and somebody kept them. And we know that the Atlantic kept them.
Maybe. I mean, they may have just asked, hey, is this real? I mean, Mike Waltz does seem to be, I mean, the Trump today is saying, like, look, he's a good guy. He's learned a lesson.
I think he is.
And he's learned a lesson.
Right.
Like, essentially admitting, right, like this did occur kind of the way that it was described. But, again, it's at the end of the world. They're saying no. And I think that's fair.
I think it's fair. Because we know exactly what they did. He's admitted to it. They recognize a mistake. Like Hillary Clinton, she would not turn over the records. She denied it even happened. And then we find out that she gave all of her servers at home an acid bath and probably some of the other bodies that they killed. That was a big kill. Anyway, gave the servers an acid bath. Why would you do that? They didn't try to do that. They're like, yes, it did happen. Here's what happened. And it's not going to happen again.
And I think it's totally consistent to talk about all of those things and also acknowledge horrible mistake.
Horrible mistake.
I mean, it is. We would absolutely be hilariously laughing at the Obama or Biden administration if they did something like this. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't make that mistake. We've all done it. We've all had moments like that. But we need an extra layer of making sure on conversations.
What's
like that.
Nice though is this administration hasn't had leaks yet. It hasn't had leaks.
Yeah.
Remember the last term when Donald Trump was in? I mean, it was a sieve. It was leaking everywhere. The nice thing about this is, yes, bad mistake needs to be taken care of.
Fix it.
Fix it.
Move on.
But the good news is, I didn't immediately jump to who in Walz's office is setting this up. Who leaked this? Who, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's nice to know that we have an administration that is not being sabotaged from the inside, and people that are trying to do the right thing for the United States.
Yeah, and the other thing too, people are confused about why an Atlantic reporter would be in Mike Waltz's, Rolodex, if you will.
He was a congressman.
First of all, he's a congressman. And second of all, and this, I think people who don't run in these circles don't necessarily understand. These guys all talk to these reporters. And
even if they don't,
staff members, press people, they all talk to them. And it's not because they're bad people and they're leaking stuff against Donald Trump. It's they're trying to get their side of the story in all of these stories. So they all give them stuff on background.
At one point, it's been long deleted, but I had Katie Couric in my Rolodex, Ariana Huffington. I mean, we didn't call each other, but we met each other.
Story and
we met each other at one point. We're like, hey, here's my phone number. If you ever need anything, call me, blah, blah, blah.
Stuff happens all the time in Washington.
All the time.
It is
all the time.
Super common. And it's a lot of times it's when you're the victim of a bad story.
Yes.
They will reach out to you and say, well, how do you explain this? And you'll try to get your side into it for at least a little bit of pushback.
Yeah, right.
There's an entire industry that does this.
And nobody can say, I didn't know how to get a hold of you.
Right.
Yeah, I gave you my phone number.
Right.
All right. American financing. Isn't it nice every once in a while just to take a win, to have something go your way and be able to sit back and enjoy it? Today could be that day for you, because today could be the day you finally give American Financing a call. That mountain of high interest debt that's been looming over you for years, it's not impossible to get over. You've got the ability to rise above it and step into a life that is lighter, brighter, and built on smarter choices for tomorrow. When you're working with American Financing, all of that isn't a dream, that's a reality. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are there to help you, not the bank. Over the past couple of decades, they've helped a ton of people in this audience, just like you. Give them 10 minutes of your time. The average audience member is saving like $836 every single month. I don't know, pretty good. Imagine what you could do with that money to help your family. Call them now, 800-906-2440, 800-906-2440, AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 starts at 6.799% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 800-906-2440 for details about credit costs and terms.
Common sense ain't common anymore, is it? Time to wake up and wrangle the sheep. Glenn Beck continues next.
So, are you a yo-yo dieter? You know, you diet, you lose weight, but then you gain it all back. Sometimes maybe a few extra pounds on top of that, and then maybe you lose some again, and then you regain it all again, and then the cycle continues on and on and on and on. Certainly not describing my own life by any means. It kind of hits home.
Me neither, fatso.
Yeah, right. This one kind of really does hit home for many of us. Believe it or not, dieting that way can be actually kind of dangerous. Studies show that you can increase your risk of heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes. You can cause other health problems as well. And it's incredibly discouraging to achieve some of your weight loss goals and then only to have all that roll back again. So helping you break the, kind of that yo-yo diet pattern is the main reason doctors created lean. Lean is a supplement. It's not an injection. You don't need a prescription for it. The science behind it is impressive, though. It's well-studied. Natural ingredients target weight loss in 3 powerful ways. First, it helps you maintain healthy blood sugar levels. Second, it helps control your appetite and cravings. And third, it helps to burn fat by converting that fat into energy. If you're tired of losing weight and gaining it back all the time, you want to lose a meaningful amount of weight at a healthy pace and then keep it off, Lean was created for you. You can get started with Lean right now, 20% off when you use the code BLAZE20 at takelean.com. Takelean.com. The code is BLAZE20. Check it out now, takelean.com. The code is BLAZE20.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. We're so glad that you've tuned in. Tomorrow on the 9 o'clock special, Wednesday night special, I am talking to you about the Kennedy assassination. And I went out to Oklahoma. Here, play a little bit of this. I'm going to have to translate it because this is... I'm up in Oklahoma. You hear how windy it is? So I'm saying I'm out for Wednesday's TV show, JFK. And it talks about how I'm going to try to make the exact shot that Oswald made with a moving car and see if I can do it. Everybody says it's really super, super hard. Is it or not? And I'll tell you, you'll see the full shot of it. And we learned 2 things in this, and it's pretty eye-opening. And that'll be on tomorrow's Wednesday night special, along with a rundown of everything that we have found in the JFK files. Roger Stone is going to be joining me as another guest who has audio tapes of, I think it was his father and another man in the administration talking about LBJ's role in the assassination. It's an amazing show from the Oval Office that will happen tomorrow, only on the Glenn Beck program, the Wednesday night special, blazetv.com/Glenn. Sign up now.
This is Glenn Beck.